Hello, the unstoppable she. Today I want to delve into a topic that holds the potential to transform our lives for the better. We all strive for happiness, fulfillment, and balance, yet often find ourselves weighed down by habits, behaviors, and mindsets that hinder our progress. That's why I'm here to share with you 11 things that, when quietly eliminated from our lives, can pave the way for greater peace, joy, and authenticity. So let's embark on this journey together as we explore these 7 transformative principles and discover the power they hold to create positive change in our lives. Number 1, on our list, negative self-talk. Ladies, imagine waking up in the morning, ready to tackle the day ahead, but instead of feeling motivated and optimistic, you're bombarded by a barrage of self-critical thoughts. I'm not good enough. I always mess things up. I'll never be successful. These negative self-talk patterns can weigh heavily on our minds, influencing our emotions, behaviors, and ultimately our lives. Negative self-talk is like having a constant companion whispering in your ear, undermining your confidence and self-worth. It's that inner voice that tells you that you're not smart enough, not attractive enough, not deserving enough. And the more we listen to it, the more it chips away at our self-esteem, making it harder to believe in ourselves and our abilities. But here's the thing. Negative self-talk is not based in reality. It's a distorted lens through which we view ourselves, colored by past experiences, societal pressures, and unrealistic expectations. And the more we buy into it, the more power we give it over our lives. So how do we break free from the grip of negative self-talk? It starts with awareness. Pay attention to the thoughts that pass through your mind and notice when they take a negative turn. Once you recognize them for what they are, just thoughts, not truths, you can begin to challenge them. Instead of automatically accepting negative self-talk as fact, question it. Ask yourself, is this thought really true? What evidence do I have to support it? Often you'll find that there's little to no evidence to back up these negative beliefs, which can help weaken their hold on you. Next, practice self-compassion. Treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer to a friend facing a similar situation. Remind yourself that everyone makes mistakes, and that failure is not a reflection of your worth as a person. Finally, cultivate a more positive inner dialogue. Replace those self-critical thoughts with affirmations and words of encouragement. Instead of saying, I'm not good enough, try saying, I am capable and deserving of success. It may feel awkward at first, but with time and practice, you can rewire your brain to default to a more positive mindset. Remember, you are not defined by your thoughts or your past mistakes. You have the power to change the narrative and rewrite the story you tell yourself about who you are and what you're capable of achieving. So the next time that inner critic starts to chime in, remind yourself, you are enough just as you are. And with that belief, you can conquer anything that comes your way. Number 2, declutter. Trailblazers. Think about the spaces you inhabit, your home, your workspace, your car. Are they filled with piles of stuff, knickknacks gathering dust, and items you haven't touched in years? If so, you're not alone. Clutter has a sneaky way of creeping into our lives, slowly but surely taking over our physical space and, in turn, our mental space. Clutter isn't just about having a messy room or a disorganized desk. It's about the emotional weight that comes with it, the stress, the overwhelm, the feeling of being suffocated by our own belongings. It's that nagging voice in the back of our minds reminding us of all the things we need to clean, organize, or get rid of. But here's the thing about clutter. It's more than just a nuisance. It's a drain on our well-being and productivity. Studies have shown that living in a cluttered environment can lead to increased levels of stress, anxiety, and even depression. It can also impede our ability to focus, make decisions, and be creative. So why do we hold on to clutter? For many of us, it's because we attach sentimental value to our possessions, or because we fear we might need them someday. But more often than not, clutter is simply a manifestation of indecision, an inability to let go of things that no longer serve us. So how do we declutter our lives and reclaim our space? It starts with a mindset shift. Instead of seeing decluttering as a chore, think of it as an act of self-care. a way to create a peaceful, harmonious environment that nurtures your well-being. Start small. Pick one area of your home or workspace to tackle at a time, whether it's a drawer, a closet, or a corner of your desk. Sort through your belongings and ask yourself, does this item bring me joy? Do I use it regularly? If not, it may be time to let it go. Be ruthless in your decluttering efforts. Donate or discard items that no longer serve a purpose in your life, and be honest with yourself about what you truly need and value. Remember, decluttering isn't just about getting rid of stuff. It's about making space for the things that truly matter to you. As you declutter, you'll likely find that it's not just your physical space that feels lighter. It's your mind and spirit as well. You'll feel a sense of liberation and clarity that comes from letting go of the excess and embracing simplicity. So take a deep breath, roll up your sleeves, and dive into the decluttering process. Your future self will thank you for it. The unstoppable. If you're finding value in today's discussion and feel inspired to make positive changes in your life, we'll invite you to subscribe to our channel. By subscribing, you'll stay updated on future videos exploring topics like personal growth, mindfulness, and self-improvement. Together, we can continue this journey of discovery and transformation. At number 3, toxic relationships. Unstoppable. Think about the people in your life who you spend the most time with: friends, family, co-workers, partners. Now imagine if those relationships were sources of negativity, stress, and unhappiness rather than support, love, and joy. These are what we call toxic relationships, and they can have a profound impact on our well-being and quality of life. Toxic relationships come in many forms. It could be a friend who constantly puts you down, a partner who manipulates or controls you, a family member who belittles your dreams, or a coworker who spreads rumors and gossip. Regardless of the specifics, toxic relationships share one common trait. They drain you emotionally, mentally, and sometimes even physically. The thing about toxic relationships is that they often sneak up on us. They may start off seemingly harmless, but over time, the negativity and toxicity build up until they become unbearable. And yet many of us find ourselves reluctant to let go of these relationships, whether out of fear of being alone, guilt, or a misplaced sense of loyalty. But here's the truth. Toxic relationships are like poison to our souls. They erode our self-esteem, chip away at our confidence, and prevent us from living our lives to the fullest. And the longer we allow them to fester, the harder it becomes to break free from their grip. So how do we extricate ourselves from toxic relationships? It starts with setting boundaries. Be clear about what behavior is acceptable and what is not, and be willing to enforce those boundaries, even if it means walking away from the relationship altogether. Next, surround yourself with positive influences. Cultivate friendships and connections with people who uplift and support you, who celebrate your successes and stand by you during tough times. These are the relationships that nourish your soul and help you grow into the best version of yourself. And finally, practice self-love and self-respect. Recognize your own worth and value and refuse to settle for anything less than you deserve. Remember that you have the power to choose who you allow into your life, and that it's okay to let go of relationships that no longer serve you. Breaking free from toxic relationships can be challenging and painful, but it is also liberating and empowering. It's about reclaiming your power, your happiness, and your right to live a life free from toxicity and negativity. So take a stand for yourself and surround yourself with people who lift you up, inspire you, and bring out the best in you. You deserve nothing less. Number 4, procrastination. Unstoppable. We've all been there. Putting off tasks until the last minute, telling ourselves we'll do it later, only to find ourselves scrambling to meet deadlines and feeling stressed and overwhelmed in the process. Procrastination is like a thief of time, stealing away precious moments that could be spent productively and leaving us feeling guilty and unfulfilled. At its core, procrastination is a behavior rooted in avoidance. It's the tendency to delay or postpone tasks that we perceive as difficult, boring, or unpleasant, opting instead for short-term gratification or distraction. Whether it's a looming work project, a household chore, or even something as simple as replying to emails, procrastination can wreak havoc on our productivity and well-being. But why do we procrastinate? There are many reasons: fear of failure, perfectionism, lack of motivation, overwhelm, or simply habit. Whatever the cause, the result is the same. We end up feeling stuck in a cycle of procrastination, unable to break free from its grip. So how do we overcome procrastination and reclaim our time and productivity? It starts with understanding why we procrastinate in the first place. Is it because the task feels overwhelming? Because we're afraid of failing? Because we're not sure where to start? By identifying the root cause of our procrastination, we can begin to address it head-on. Next, break the task down into smaller, more manageable steps. Often, procrastination is fueled by the sheer enormity of a task. It feels too big to tackle, so we put it off indefinitely. But by breaking it down into smaller, bite-sized chunks, it becomes more manageable and less intimidating. Set clear, specific goals for yourself and hold yourself accountable to them. Whether it's through setting deadlines, creating a reward system, or enlisting the help of an accountability partner, find what works for you to keep yourself on track and motivated. Practice self-discipline and time management skills. Learn to prioritize your tasks and allocate your time wisely, focusing on the most important and urgent tasks first. Set aside dedicated time for work and minimize distractions to maximize your productivity. And finally, be kind to yourself. We all procrastinate from time to time. It's a natural part of being human. Instead of beating yourself up for procrastinating, use it as an opportunity for self-reflection and growth. Learn from your mistakes, adjust your approach as needed, and keep moving forward. By taking proactive steps to address procrastination, you can reclaim your time, boost your productivity, and cultivate a greater sense of accomplishment and well-being in your life. So the next time you find yourself tempted to procrastinate, remember, the only way to overcome it is to start now. Number 5, unhealthy habits. Ladies, we all have habits, some good, some not so good. But when those habits start to negatively impact our health and well-being, it's time to take a closer look and make some changes. Unhealthy habits come in many forms, from smoking and excessive drinking to overeating and sedentary behavior. And while they may provide temporary relief or pleasure, in the long run, they can have serious consequences for our physical, mental, and emotional health. One of the most common unhealthy habits is smoking. Despite the well-documented risks to health, many people continue to smoke, often as a way to cope with stress or anxiety. But smoking not only increases the risk of cancer, heart disease, and respiratory problems, it also takes a toll on our finances, our relationships, and our quality of life. Another unhealthy habit is excessive drinking. While a glass of wine or a beer now and then may be enjoyable, drinking to excess can lead to a host of health problems, including liver disease, addiction, and accidents. It can also impair judgment and decision-making, leading to risky behaviors and strained relationships. Then there's overeating, using food as a way to cope with emotions or boredom rather than fueling our bodies with nourishing, balanced meals. Over time, this can lead to weight gain, obesity, and a host of related health issues, including diabetes, heart disease, and depression. And let's not forget about sedentary behavior, spending hours sitting in front of a screen, whether it's a computer, TV, or smartphone. Not only does this lead to physical health problems like obesity, heart disease, and poor posture, it can also take a toll on our mental health, contributing to feelings of isolation, loneliness, and depression. But here's the good news: unhealthy habits can be broken. Number 6, excessive screen time. In today's digital age, screens are everywhere, from smartphones and tablets to computers and TVs. While technology has undoubtedly revolutionized the way we live, work, and connect with others, excessive screen time can have detrimental effects on our health and well-being. First and foremost, excessive screen time can take a toll on our physical health. Spending hours hunched over a screen can lead to eye strain, headaches, and neck and back pain. Prolonged sitting can also increase the risk of obesity, heart disease, and other chronic health conditions. But the impact of excessive screen time goes beyond just physical health. It can also have profound effects on our mental and emotional well-being. Constant exposure to screens can lead to feelings of stress, anxiety, and depression, as well as disruptions in sleep patterns and difficulty concentrating. One of the biggest culprits of excessive screen time is social media. Platforms like Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter are designed to be addictive, with endless scrolling and notifications that keep us coming back for more. But while social media can be a great way to stay connected with friends and family, it can also be a source of comparison, jealousy, and FOMO, fear of missing out. Similarly, excessive screen time can interfere with our real-life relationships and interactions. When we're constantly glued to our screens, we miss out on opportunities for face-to-face connection and meaningful conversation. This can lead to feelings of loneliness, isolation, and disconnection from the world around us. So how do we strike a balance between using screens for work, entertainment, and communication, and avoiding the negative effects of excessive screen time? It starts with setting boundaries and being mindful of our screen usage. Set limits on how much time you spend on screens each day, and stick to them. Use features like screen time tracking and app limits to help you stay accountable. Make time for screen-free activities that nourish your mind, body, and soul, whether it's going for a walk, reading a book, or spending time with loved ones. Practice mindfulness when using screens. Be intentional about what you consume and how you consume it. Limit mindless scrolling and be selective about the content you engage with. And be sure to take regular breaks to rest your eyes, stretch your muscles, and recharge your mind. By being mindful of our screen time and setting boundaries around its usage, we can mitigate the negative effects of excessive screen time and create a healthier and more balanced relationship with technology. So the next time you reach for your phone or fire up your computer, take a moment to pause and ask yourself, is this really how I want to spend my time? And is this really adding value to my life? Number 7, perfectionism. Perfectionism is like a double-edged sword. On one hand, it can drive us to achieve great things and strive for excellence. But on the other hand, it can also hold us back, leading to feelings of anxiety, self-doubt, and inadequacy when we inevitably fall short of our impossibly high standards. At its core, perfectionism is the belief that anything less than perfect is unacceptable. It's the relentless pursuit of flawlessness in every aspect of our lives, our work, our relationships, our appearance, our achievements. And while striving for excellence can be a positive trait, perfectionism takes it to an unhealthy extreme, setting unrealistic expectations that are impossible to meet. The problem with perfectionism is that it's a never-ending cycle of striving and never quite reaching the finish line. No matter how much we achieve or accomplish, there's always something more we could have done, something better we could have been. This constant striving for an unattainable ideal can lead to chronic stress, burnout, and a diminished sense of self-worth. But perhaps the most insidious aspect of perfectionism is the fear of failure that accompanies it. Perfectionists are often so terrified of making mistakes or falling short that they become paralyzed by indecision and self-doubt. They may procrastinate on tasks, avoid taking risks, or give up altogether at the first sign of imperfection. So how do we break free from the grip of perfectionism and cultivate a healthier relationship with ourselves and our goals? It starts with recognizing that perfection is an illusion, a mirage that promises happiness but delivers only frustration and disappointment. Learn to embrace imperfection as a natural part of the human experience. Understand that failure is not the end of the road, but an opportunity for growth and learning. Instead of striving for perfection, strive for progress, for continuous improvement and self-discovery.